Well, hello everyone, hello howdy. Welcome back to another video here on the one and only Fujj YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm bringing you a little bit of a different one. In today's video, I want to give my most in-depth and deep Garden Warfare 2 settings guide. And I'm also just going to show, my personal settings and just give some tips and tricks if you're just getting into Garden Warfare 2 or something like that. Now, Garden Warfare 2 settings are really not that in-depth. Half the stuff in settings isn't even in numbers, it's just a slider. But regardless, I feel like some people might want to know my settings, so I thought it would just be, a video to make. So yeah, without any more yapping, let's just hop right into it. Okay, first things first in settings, my difficulty's on easy. That doesn't affect anything in multiplayer by any means, but I don't want to play the story mode on anything harder than easy. Okay, now actually going into options. Here's where all the juicy stuff is. Now, one big thing when it comes to sensitivity is finding one that fits you. This is my personal sensitivity, and it's just a little bit more than halfway. This is probably around 60% if we were to put it into percentages. This is a sensitivity that I like a lot. It feels pretty decently fast in game. For many, many years, I was a very low sensitivity player, and Garden Warfare 2 was really the only game that I did that in. It's a very recent switch that has switched to a little bit of a higher sensitivity, and I promise you, if you can get a handle on a higher sensitivity, it is definitely worth it. On top of that, on my PlayStation controller, I have a Control Freak. If you don't know what a Control Freak is, it's an attachment that goes on top of your joystick, and it pretty much just makes your joystick a little bit taller. With a taller joystick, you're able to have a little bit more control over your camera and stuff like that. It's not something needed per se, but I do like it, and it also pairs well with a high sensitivity. Not that my sensitivity is high or anything, but it's just a little bit more than halfway. The next is the aim sensitivity. In every single game I play, I always have my aim sensitivity a little bit lower than my regular sensitivity, and Garden Warfare 2 is no exception. I also have my aim sensitivity. This is probably around 45%-ish. It's like one notch behind halfway on the little slider here. I like having my normal fast sensitivity, and I do hip fire a lot in Garden Warfare 2, so most of the time I'm not aiming down sights. But when I do, I really want to be able to hone and, focus in, have a little bit of a slower sensitivity, especially with projectile-based characters, and full auto characters. Regardless, in this game, you're going to be tracking, and it's nice to just have the option to go to a slower sensitivity. As well as when you aim down sights, obviously your camera zooms in a little bit, so having that lower sensitivity to work with that little zoom just makes the game feel overall a lot better. I would definitely recommend making your aim sensitivity a little bit lower than your look sensitivity, and I promise you'll start hitting many, many more shots, especially when you aim down sights. Again, sensitivity is all preference, but this is just going to be my tips and tricks and what I found to work over my 8 years of playing this game. One setting that I will tell everyone to go ahead and turn off is controller vibration. I have controller vibration turned off on my PS5 settings, so it doesn't really matter, but controller vibration is something that'll mess up your aim a lot. Whenever the controller is physically moving in your hands while you're shooting, it's just like another thing to think about. When I played Fortnite on controller, I played with controller vibration for a very long while, and I have to say, the second that I turned off controller vibration, you just feel an improvement almost instantly. Controller vibration off just leads to much more consistency, because regardless of who you're playing, regardless of what weapon you have, it's all going to feel the same. In almost any single shooter game, I recommend that you turn controller vibration off, and Garden Warfare 2 is no exception. Next thing is my vertical look. Obviously, I don't play inverted. I'm not gonna do that. I leave it on normal. I don't want to have my looks inverted. If you're one of the 8 people in the world that plays on inverted controls, then whatever floats your boat. But me, I'm just a normal player, so I'm gonna play on the normal setting. Now, button layout can vary from person to person. You can either play on default, where left trigger to aim down sight and right trigger to shoot, or you can play on southpaw, where the shoot button becomes aim down sights and the aim down sights button becomes shoot. I don't really know why you'd play on this, and I don't know if that's the only difference or not. It appears that is the only difference. Personally, this is not something that I like, but it's not unusable. If you're a southpaw player, then that's perfectly fine, but most of us, I think, are going to be sticking to defaults. If you play more games than just Garden Warfare 2, I don't know how many games nowadays have the southpaw option. So just for the sake of consistency, I'm going to just stay on default controls. Yeah, changing my button layout on Garden Warfare 2 is not really something I ever considered. So yeah, I just stick to, default button layout. Nothing special. Stick layout, I also have on default. I don't have it on southpaw. If you have it on southpaw, your camera button becomes your movement button. This feels so trippy to play. Oh my goodness. It's like I've never touched a video game before. Wow, that's trippy. Okay. Yeah, stick layout I keep on default. If you have it on southpaw, your camera button becomes your move, and your move button becomes your camera. If you want to go ahead and look around with the left joystick, that's all on you. That's, it varies from person to person, I suppose, whatever's more comfortable. But I don't think many people are southpaw players, myself included. So I'm just going to stick at the default for stick layout and button layout. Aim assist you should have on nothing but heavy. As it says in the description of aim assist, let the game help you aim at enemies. Why wouldn't you want aim assist? Now, heavy aim assist in Garden Warfare 2 GW2 can be a lot, I won't lie. If you're feeling like the aim assist is kind of messing you up, where there is times that it can. For example, I could be shooting someone like this. I could just be shooting an enemy like this, right? And then another enemy comes up behind me and my aim assist will literally pull me to that other enemy. So strong aim assist can be a little bit of a hindrance in those like very, very niche cases. And if you're finding yourself in those situations quite often, then, you know, there's nothing wrong with switching to a light aim assist. But turning aim assist completely off is just, it's just not the play. Garden Warfare 2 is too fast paced. You know, good luck hitting a Pogo P without aim assist on controller. That's all I can say. Aim assist, I would say, is the most important setting in this. Either have it on heavy or light, nothing in between. If you have aim assist off, you're just giving yourself such a big hindrance. I know some people will turn aim assist off to try to get better aim naturally, then turn aim assist back on at a later date. You know something that's much more beneficial than doing that? Just learning how to aim well with heavy aim assist, because everyone else is doing that. Play on heavy aim assist and maybe light aim assist if, you know, you're feeling a little ambitious. I'm sticking to heavy. I don't know about you, but hey, that's just me. Aim type, hold to aim. Now this actually matters based on what class you main, just a little bit. If you have hold to aim on and you main the Super Brains class, turn off hold to aim. For example, if I hold to aim, so I have my beam out and then I jump, as you can see, it goes away. But if I turn on toggle aim and I aim down sights then jump, I can use my laser in the air as Super Brains. I feel like this technique is so hidden and I don't see people ever use laser in the air online. If you are a Super Brains main, by all means turn on toggle ADS and get used to it, because it allows you to literally use your beam in the air. That is so incredibly useful, and it only works when you have toggle aim on. At the end of the day, it is just personal preference, but if you do main Super Brains, you know, turn this on. But if you play any other class, it does just come down to straight preference. If you prefer to hold the aim down sights, then, you know, you're just like me, that's what I play on. If you prefer to just click the button, then it just holds your aim down sights, you know, toggle aim is here for you as well. Personally, I'm gonna stick to hold to aim because I don't play Super Brains nearly enough to need toggle aim. But if you play Super Brains, please, for the love of God, please put on toggle aim. It will change your life. Classic layout swaps the L1 and R1 buttons. If you don't know what that means, the bumper buttons become your aim down sight and shoot. At the end of the day, it is just preference. I had a friend growing up that would play like this, and you know what? He played just as fine as everyone else. I personally am going to keep it off. I like to use the triggers to shoot. But if you prefer to use R1 and L1, then, you know, classic layout is here for you, but personally just not for me. Now, audio settings vary from person to person as well. You know, it just kind of varies how loud your headphones are and shit like that. This is what I have mine on. I have music a little quieter than master volume. This is your microphone in game. I always have it off. I don't really care to talk to anyone. And now for dynamic range, this is a big one. Some people love the Zombox dynamic range. Personally, I'm not a real big fan of this. You know, it just kind of sounds like bass boosted garbage to me. It literally says Zombox is for crazy sounds. I would recommend either having it on high or low. It's kind of preference. They sound just like slightly different. You know, low sounds a little bit more sharp. High sounds just kind of full. It kind of just sounds like how the game is supposed to. And then Zombox is just absolutely insane. Don't use this unless you're trolling. Now we have the miscellaneous settings. Now there's not really much here. The biggest thing here is HUD visibility. Now some players like to play on a light HUD, and if you have a light HUD, it gets rid of your rank in the corner, which some people are a fan of. Personally, I play on show all, which is just, you know, the whole HUD. There's also reticle only, which, you know, as the name says, only shows your reticle. And then there's none, where there's no HUD, not even a reticle. You know, this is useful for screenshots. I wish more games had this option because it is very, very useful for screenshots just to get rid of that annoying HUD. But for regular day-to-day play, I recommend most people just have show all for HUD visibility. Not really something that you should think of too much. You know, some people play on light, but I just feel like they're trying to be different. Connection warnings just tells you if you're lagging. There's no reason to have this turned off. And yeah, honestly, I think that about covers it for my Garden Warfare 2 settings. I don't think they're anything special. They're just kind of, you know, my Garden Warfare settings. There are some settings like aim assist, of course, where I think just everyone unanimously should have it on. And then there's some settings like Zombox audio where, you know, no one should have it on. But regardless, settings is something that you have to tinker with and you have to find out if you like it or not. Maybe you're a real big fan of Zombox audio and you can't play the game without Zombox audio on, you know, then enjoy the game with your bass boosted audio, my friend. But yeah, I really don't think I have much else to add for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, then feel free to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I will be having a live stream tomorrow. I'm recording this video and going to upload it on the Saturday, and the live stream will be on Sunday. If you're looking forward to the live stream, then feel free to come along. It'll probably be like midday Sunday, maybe around like 12 to 1-ish. We're gonna grind out some characters. I'm gonna spend the rest of today, you know, just grinding some rank plates. We're currently at 18th rank plate. I'm gonna try to get like 19th rank plate by today. It's already 3 p.m, so we're on the grind. But yeah, I really don't have much else to add. Stay tuned for tomorrow's live stream, and I'll catch you tomorrow, I suppose. Sayonara. Also, there should be a video tomorrow, but if there's not, it's because there's a live stream. There's a reason if I'm lazy tomorrow.